Welcome back to the Hockey Shop, source for sports here in beautiful Surrey, British Columbia, the outskirts of Vancouver, suburbia as I like to call it, and actually more particular, we're in goalie utopia, the bottom floor here at the Hockey Shop, which is all about goaltenders, surrounded on all sides by the latest, the greatest, the new equipment. And we're here with Cam Matwiv, who's going to walk us through today. We've done the Ccm AXIS chest protector a few weeks back. Time to look at the pants, time to look at how the pants integrate into the chest protector. Time to cover off all those things with Cam Matwiv, who is wearing the pants.
Yes.
We made him wear things this week because I was getting a little hot and bothered with all the equipment on and the temperature up. Needless to say, yeah, he dropped the temperature for himself this week. How you feeling in those pants right about now?
I feel great. Comfortable.
Okay, CCM AXIS Pants. Walk me through. Does this follow the Premier line? What are some of the features that you're hearing back from goalies they love the most? What makes this pant stand out compared to others?
So continuing on the theme of evolution and consolidating lines that we've seen from Bauer, for example, CCM's gone and sandwiched actually the E-Flex pant and the Premier pant together to create this pant, which, to be honest, really those two pants were basically identical from what was the waist down. What made the difference of those two pants is that the Shield pant, the E-Flex 2 pant, had a bit more of a segmented waist in particular, making it a little bit softer, easier for it to wrap around the belly. But other than that, the lower half of the pant was basically identical to Premier. So
some of us need a little help wrapping around the belly more than others these days.
Well, there you go. So hop on that Peloton and then we'll talk to you next week.
Okay.
That said, for overall what's changed and how they integrated the two pants together in particular, the biggest call out has to be the segmentation of their hip flaps, like we'll call it waist flaps in particular. So creating more flexibility in the pant while also adding an addition of protection itself. I'm talking a little bit lower down the pant, just above on your thigh barrel here. So we see them calling out their D3O material, which they've used in the past. But before, it used to be basically a flap, one single flap that kind of came over top of that thigh. Now we see segmentation all the way through just to create more flexibility to the pant, allowing the pant to have that easier bend forward. One of the things that I had noticed about CCM pants is that when you do get them a little bit more cinched up, it's a little bit hard to, bend over, tie your skates, things like that. Here, I don't have that same restriction with the pant. It really allows a forward bend to the pant right off the bat.
So a little more forward flex. If you're getting into that low, wide, locked-in stance as the shot's about to come, you're not going to have any resistance from the front of this pant. Segmented also means you're probably, like, the protection's going to sort of stay together, so to speak, like as opposed to potentially sliding up. And D3O right in that segmentation in front of sort of over top of the front of your hips, which is an area where you can pucks tend to find seams there.
Correct. Yeah. It's one of those things that actually you can even visually see on the pant itself.
Visual. Oh, I like it.
Yeah. Visuals are always good.
And there's that telltale orange.
Exactly. And one of the things of you seeing that you flip it up in terms of how they've attached it to the pant itself, those are actually elastic attachment point in particular on the pant itself. What that'll give to it, it helps to anchor the actual protection for it. So one of the things you did notice too is that protection would actually like flip up on some of the Premier pants.
Every once in a while, yeah.
Yes, exactly. And for those that have worn those Premier pants, you know exactly what we're talking about. Yeah. Yes. What this will do is it'll help to keep it in front, and they've also cut it so it goes lower and has a bit of that double coverage. So we're not as worried about that, separation shot, basically, we'd call it.
I was going to say double coverage when you're looking at a goalie in his stance and the pads and the blocker are covering the same thing, or the glove and the chest protector are covering the same thing. Double coverage in that case, not a good thing. Double coverage in this case, in terms of, the top of the thigh and some sensitive spots, absolutely a good thing. And especially when it's got the added layer, we'll call it triple coverage, of a D3O.
Exactly. So starting with the lower portion of the pant, to be honest, hasn't changed a whole bunch, but it didn't need to. This is still falls in line with their 10-inch wide barrel. They haven't messed with any of their sizing or anything like that.
They haven't cranked us down to 9-inch NHL max width, make you smaller at other levels sizing.
That's correct.
We know I'm a big fan of this.
Yes, so you still get max coverage out of the pant, and it still maintains that barrel cut of the pant in particular, which CCM pants have been known for. As we move up and past the segmentation that we've already covered, you get into the upper waist portion of the pant itself. One of the things that I have found on the Axis pant is that they've extended the actual waist portion of the pant. So you get a little bit more wrap if you don't tuck in the chest. Once you cinch it up, it will wrap around your body quite nicely. However, for those of us that tuck in, it helps with that integration and stops that chest from flowing out when you are moving around.
So if you tend to, I don't know, like me, end up like flopping around like a fish out of water, that's when you tend to, if you do tuck, that's when it tends to, things start to come apart.
Yes,
you're gonna have a little.
Yes, things fall apart very quickly when you're in net, Kevin.
That's true. That's true. Again, things my beer league teammates would tell you. But in this case, at least you're, in terms of that pant chest integration, that's more likely to stay together.
Exactly.
I may fall apart, but my pants and my chest.
But you're protected. Exactly. So one of the things, again, continuing forward, that CCM's been known for, that internal belt. Always a great feature. Again, looking for that a little bit of a snugger fit, but without losing coverage for the overall pant itself. They've also continued on, in particular, with their inch waist drop system, which is just a zipper that follows the perimeter of the pant itself. Once again, we have a nice visual call out for Kevin, who likes his visuals.
Big fan of the visuals.
Kids that are growing, needing a bit of a custom fit for your pant, this is a great feature. Again, just will allow the pant to drop an extra inch on the entire body itself without sacrificing any protection.
So again, and we talked about it, kids that are growing, goalies that are maybe in between sizes, aren't sure if they want it longer or narrower. That simple system that you just unzip the zipper and the pant drops an extra inch, and you've got a little bit of a longer fitting pant. Again, for parents who've got growing kids and are worried about them going through multiple sizes in a season, always nice to have that extra inch. It's that, we talked about it with the Bauer unit. They have a similar philosophy without the zipper, more of a Velcro setup, but that concept, always nice as a parent when your goalie is growing, not so nice when they do it multiple times in a season and through different sizes. So at least this way you get a little bit of extra length in the legs. Other features on this pant, Cam?
Some other quick callouts, just on the inside of the thigh itself, the actual removable Velcro pads.
Little extra protection on the inside, blocks of Velcro inside of the thighs as well. Help close that 5-hole a little bit.
Yeah, we'll call it not necessarily extra protection, because you don't necessarily need it in that area. But what I do find, again, for what you called out there, assistance in closing that 5-hole, or as well as kind of centering the leg inside the pant itself. Personally speaking, wearing a bigger set of knee pads, I find it's too much, so I take these out right away, so I still get that loose feel that I'm kind of looking for inside the pant.
Well, and again, because not everybody's the same. Some people want a smaller knee pad, some people want a bigger one. Again, the option here to remove that padding so that you, no matter what you wear, you're going to find a comfortable fit in terms of the integration between your pant and your knee pad.
You get your custom fit for the pant, which is the most important thing. One more quick call out for the pant, which often gets glossed over, and it's been a feature on CCM pants for quite a long time.
Now, hold on here. Ding, ding. Folks, you're going to learn something new on the InGoal Radio Podcast. And I got to be honest, as a guy who's been a long time sort of premier pant and premier chest protector guy, even I was not aware of this until Cam brought it up today. So after years of wearing it and not knowing why it was there, Cam is going to educate and enlighten us on the buckle clip on the inside of the inner belt.
Yes. So for those that are listening, if you're familiar with a premier pant, you've always seen on the internal belt 2 plastic clips that actually snap together.
And for those of you who are listening to the podcast right now and can't quite picture it, make sure you check out the simulcast that we'll have on all our social media channels and on the page at InGoalMag.com that will, in addition to the podcast, show off the simulcast video of this. We'll highlight it.
So what we're saying is watch the video.
Yeah, do both. Listen, watch the video.
So what it will actually do, beyond centering the belt inside the pant, it's not quite for, it's actually an integration between this and a CCM chest feature itself, which happens to be a strap on the side of the chest. So that this will allow you to tuck in the chest, snap it in, keep it together, and again, not having that use of the suspenders in particular. So this came about when suspenders were supposed to be outlawed kind of in the NHL, and they needed another way for those guys to tuck in particular, without having to use suspenders. Now that that's a little bit, it's not as common, it's not as big of a deal anymore. You don't see it as much, but that feature has still remained on CCM pants, and it's something that often gets glossed over quite easily.
Okay, so now here's the thing. I always assume, because that loop, that clip loop wraps around the inner belt, I always thought it was part of the inner belt. I did not realize for all these years that it was actually designed. And again, I don't tuck my chest protector, so maybe not for me, but a really good feature for other people who want a little more of that connected feeling and that integration. And as we already established, I tend to fall all over the place and things come apart. This will help the pants and the chest protector remain connected. Now, for those of you who heard that little bit of background noise, I apologize. The hockey shop is a constant work in progress. There is no rest at the top of the mountain. They are doing renovations upstairs to the stick racks, and a little bit of that noise has crept in down here. I kind of look at it like this, like it's kind of like having players on your team. It's a necessary evil. They always screw things up for us, the players, but we got to have them. So this is us. Down here in goalie utopia, it's relatively quiet, but up there, they're making a racket before the doors open because they've got, again, always looking to improve. So I guess we can live with that. If the players are happy, does it mean they'll back check for us, Cam?
Maybe.
Probably not, eh? Probably because we chirped them on podcasts. All right, Cam, Axis Pant, great job walking it through. Remember, folks, the simulcast video, you'll be able to check this out. Have a little footage showing you the pant up tight and showing how it integrates with that chest protector. Both the E-Flex Shield and the Axis and old Premier chest protectors all have that loop to integrate into this belt that's on the Axis Pant. So even if you're in a different model chest protector, that buckle loop we just talked about can be a way to integrate. You learn something new every day. That's why we come to the Hockey Shop, Source for Sports, and thehockeyshop.com for all our gear needs, easy for me to say. And that's why you should call Cam if you have any questions about your gear needs. Cam, where can they get you?
604-589-8299.
The international number is right here, thanks to our friend and producer, David Hutchison, working his magic, and my magnificent Vanna White, the 1-800 number is right here. For those that are listening on the podcast, they think I'm an idiot, which is kind of nothing new. All right, folks, from the Hockey Shop, Source for Sports here in Surrey and Goalie Utopia, I'm Kevin, he's Cam. We'll talk to you next week.